If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Milton Berle. I saw this quote and I was actually trying to find the source of another quote, and in the process stumbled across this one, and I was like, nope, that's my quote. And I kind of live my life by this, at least how I've been pursuing my career and also in life, I suppose. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. To me, it really feels like make your own way, pave your own path. If, you're not getting the kind of jobs you want, make the kind of jobs you want. If you're, not getting the kind of social gathering invitations you want, make your own social gathering. Like, it can apply to a lot of different things. And I personally don't like to just wait around and do nothing. I like to continue to learn and to grow and to create and all of these wonderful, wonderful things. And I find that the more I bloom and grow, the more opportunities end up just appearing. And it's kind of magical in that sense. You almost feel like for me anyway, I kind of feel like I'm veering off a certain path sometimes. Is this right? I don't know. I'm just following my gut. And then all of a sudden you're in a place you maybe thought you wouldn't be, but that's also really wonderful. I firmly believe in building your own doors, all right? I think it's important. That's just the way I live my life. And to have it put that way so simply, it's a very short quote. If opportunity doesn't knock, build a door. Yeah. Awesome. I love it so much. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of PositiviTea. This is the podcast where I give you feel-good vibes by the spoonful. I am your host, Miss Mary Lou Ryan, and it is just fantastic to be back this week. I had to take a couple weeks off there. I have had the worst flu, I think, since I was a kid. I don't even know if I had the flu this bad as a kid, and on top of that, I was so sick with the flu, I didn't realize I also had a sinus infection. So when the flu cleared up enough, then I was like, oh shoot, I think I have a sinus infection. And now I'm on meds for that too. So I've just been put through the ringer a little bit. And yes, I spent a lot of time sitting around not doing anything, but that's because I didn't have the energy to do anything else. And I really missed the podcast. I was like, I just wish I had energy, but I don't. And that's okay. I hope that you all have had a wonderful few weeks. I'm really, really excited to be back. I'm still not 100%, but you know what? I'm feeling good enough and I took it easy today. So I'm excited about that. Today's tea, friends, is I have been nursing this one cup of tea like all day long. And it's just a really beautiful basic cup of English breakfast. I didn't put any sort of sweetener, any sort of milks in it at all. It's just plain English breakfast. And I think today when I got up, I was thinking to myself, I just want something really familiar and I want something really comforting. I know I've talked about this in the past about like going back to like very basic teas that I've grown up with before. And this is one of them. And I also like that I'm not rushing through it at all. I'm just kind of like sipping on it at will. And it's very comforting and very homey. And I love it. And yes, it's definitely not hot anymore, but it's still delicious. Alrighty, moving right into our self-care experiment. I had announced that January was going to be Take Time to Be Bored month. I've certainly had a lot of time to do that, but at the same time, I haven't really been updating everybody on a weekly basis. And I feel like just having a fever and zoning out hasn't been like the most beneficial staring at the wall doing nothing time. So I feel like I haven't devoted enough time to this as I really wanted to. And I'm curious, would you want me to follow along with the same self-care experiment for February since it's a shorter month? Or do you want me to simply move right along to the next one? I'd love to know where you're at brain space wise, how you're feeling. However, so I have done some of this. I have to say, what I have noticed the most, which may sound a little odd, is that I notice when I don't do this. I notice when it's the end of the day and I'm trying to get to sleep, when I have not given my brain a chance to just be what it wants to be, rest for a minute, just sit there and not do something. And it's quite alarming, actually, when I haven't done it that day and I go to try to sleep and it's just thoughts after thoughts, and then my brain just tries to let loose, and it's like, oh, I'm trying to sleep right now, though. I didn't realize how much that was a part of my nightly routine before I started giving myself the opportunity to take time during the day to just sit there, be bored, and breathe. It frees up my sleeping so much, and it's helped me get to sleep when I do it during the day, and it certainly does not help me get to sleep when I forget. I usually feel pretty relaxed, rejuvenated. Sometimes the creative juices will get flowing, and I like to keep a notebook nearby when I do this, and I'll just start scribbling just because. And I didn't realize just how beneficial it was until I stopped. And has this ever happened to you? I don't know if any of you take time to be bored or take time to do some kind of meditation with yourself, whether it's just sitting and enjoying your cup of coffee or tea, or just taking time to pet your kitties or puppies or whatever it happens to be. Do you notice when you don't do it? I'm like, wow, has this become such a part of my life already at this point to where my body, my brain long for it so much. And that really is and has been the objective with doing self-care experiments for longer than just a week at a time, so that they become habits and just become this integral part of my day. Then when something happens and I forget to do it, I really, really notice it. And I was looking forward to coming back to this one. I did it when Jacob was on the podcast with me a while ago, and even just after a week, how much I felt like I learned and grew. I was really excited to see what would happen after a month. And yeah, the ultimate thing is my brain is just allowed to breathe, and it helps me sleep, which I mean, that's great. I wasn't expecting that. I have a few ideas usually of what will happen, but it's not necessarily what happens. So I'm really grateful that I've taken the time to continue to practice this, albeit not as often as I would like, but being sick is being sick. And that's okay. It's another thing I'm trying not to beat myself up about. Just as a side note, y'all know I am a recovering perfectionist if you have been here for the podcast before, and guilt is a large part of what I live with in day-to-day life. And even though, yes, it's silly, I feel guilty about not being able to get the work out into the world that I want to do while I'm ill. While I'm ill, I don't feel guilty. It's like when I start to feel better and then I think about all the work that I didn't do, that's when I start to feel guilty. Do you have any ideas for a potential February self-care experiment? I would really love to know your ideas. Of course, you can email me or hop on any of my social media and let me know. I'm excited to dive into another journey with you if that's what you want, or if you would like to continue this one, that's great too. It's been a really good use of my time, which is a bit funny to say about sitting there and doing nothing. But it has been a really, really worthwhile use of my time, for sure. Have you tried the self-care experiment with me this month? How do you feel about it? How do you feel now in comparison to the beginning of the month? I would love to know about your journeys. I love when you tweet at me or post in Discord how your month is going and how you're maybe implementing a self-care experiment, whether it's the one I'm doing or one of your own. It warms my heart so much to see you all participating and getting something out of it. Y'all know? We all know. Community news. Welcome to our next segment, Community News, where I take good news from you, the listeners, give you a little shout out and celebrate your general awesomeness. I did some reach outs this week on Twitter, on Discord, on Instagram, and all the things, and I have some really, really fun, exciting, feel-good, magical stuff to share with you. This first one is from Twitter. This is from Caitlin, and Caitlin says, I made the fall 2019 Dean's List at my school. Oh my goodness, Caitlin. Oh my goodness. Hurrah. Chip, chip, cheerio! Huzzah! Oh my goodness. You made the Dean's List for the fall semester? That's wonderful, wonderful news. I hope that you are enjoying what you're studying and you're getting a lot of what you wish to get out of it. And on top of it, you're killing it. You're doing it. You made the Dean's List. That's no small thing. That's huge. You're getting your education on. You're killing it. And like I said, I hope that you're enjoying it as well. You seemed very excited. This comment on my tweet was ended in an exclamation point. So it does seem like you are very excited, which you should be. I'm excited for you. Dean's List. Dang. I love this. And I'm trying to think, when does the next semester start? Probably it started already for a lot of people, the spring semester. So I hope that you're having a really good start to your following semester. Wow, I haven't been so removed from college things for so long now, I almost forget how it works. Caitlin, I hope you are doing something to celebrate your Dean's List wizardry awesomeness. I'm doing a little woohoo for you over here on the podcast, and I look forward to hearing how your next semester is going. This next bit of community news is from Instagram, and SimplyTealicious says, I have a roof over my head, food in my cupboards, and a partner who loves me. Oh, what a warming thing to hear. All the gratitude that's just outpouring from this. It just warms my heart. It warms my heart so much. I really love this because showing gratitude for things that we're maybe super used to or take for granted is always so important. I love picking things out of my day and just taking a moment to be like, wow, I'm so thankful for this. How wonderful is this? You have a roof over your head, you have food in your cupboards, and a partner who loves you. I just think it's so important, and it may seem mundane sometimes, some of these things, but they are really awesome things. I was actually talking to someone recently, and they were like, oh, what are your plans for this upcoming weekend? And I was like, oh, I'm probably just gonna, work on my content and snuggle with my cats. And they're like, okay, I get it. You have a great life. And that kind of caught me off guard because I wasn't like gushing about this amazing project I'm working on or anything. I was just kind of very matter-of-factly stating the things that I usually do on weekends. And I was like, you know what? That is kind of great though, that I have an awesome apartment that I can be in with an awesome human that I love and two awesome little hobbits' kitties that I love so very much. Yeah, like I said, I just wasn't expecting that at all, but it made me stop and take a moment to go, oh yeah, you know what? That is freaking awesome. Thank you for commenting something like this. When I do the reach outs and I ask for something positive in your life, I encourage it to be everything from like big to small. And this is an excellent reminder of that and just how powerful things in our daily life are and how they can have an impact on us and how we feel about things. So thank you, Simply Delicious, for commenting. I really appreciate it. And I send warm, cozy hugs over to you and yours. And last, we are over on Discord. This is from the Sax Man, and he says, well, I finally did my Carnegie concert. I've been stressing out like crazy and really almost hating myself for this solo and performance for a while now. Both of the bands I was in sounded really good, and I think my solo was okay. It was a real honor to play on that stage and just be backstage at Carnegie Hall. The amount of musicians I look up to and love that have probably played in the same place I did was insane. Saxman, I am so over the moon happy for you. Carnegie Hall? That's amazing. What an incredible, incredible space. And yeah, the history of musicians that have performed there is bananas and wonderful. And you know, you are added to that wonderful, wonderful list. I'm sorry the stress of it was a lot and led to some self-loathing and probably not some super fun thoughts when you're stuck in that stressful tornado of things. I'm really happy that you did it, and I'm really happy that you think it went well. I'm sure it was great. I know I struggle, especially from a performance perspective. I am definitely my harshest critic by a long shot. So I feel you on that one. But wow, how incredible. That's not something I hear every day. That's not something everybody hears every day. It's like, oh yeah, you know, I performed at Carnegie Hall this week. How freaking cool is that? I love it. It's magical. You're a magical musical wizard. Did you know that, Sex Man? And I'm glad you were just soaking up all of the awesomeness and all of the awesome humans that came into that space before you and those that will come after. It's just really, really magical. Sometimes in life, the bigger things do happen. I know I was just talking about taking time to appreciate the everyday things and how showing gratitude for that can be really life-changing and monumental, but sometimes you also do something super huge and monumental. Congratulations. I'm over the moon for you. And I know how hard you worked for this concert, and I'm glad that it was a magical experience. Good news, everyone! I have good news. Welcome to our final segment of the podcast, Good News. This is where I take a deep dive into the depths of the interwebs to try to find some good news articles for you. Yes, it is very important to stay informed on the happenings in the world. However, it is not good to let it consume your life and drown in things beyond your control. Been there, done that. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and I don't know about you, but I have been really freaking overwhelmed. And it's a lot to deal with. And I try to help how I can, but I can't let it consume my life, or it's just not good for my mental health. There's only so much that I can do. And one thing I can do is share this wonderful article titled Stolen Therapy Goat Found, Reunited with Depressed Cow. Yeah, I'm not kidding. A therapy goat helping out its depressed cow friend. And I'm excited about it. So, in New Zealand, there was a goat named Peaches. And Peaches was brought in because Bunter the cow had just lost another cow friend. And Bunter the cow was showing a lot of signs of depression. Animals can experience depression, sadness, a lot of feelings, and was just overall not acting like themselves. And the owners did some research, saw that goats tended to be very good therapy companion animals. So in comes Peaches the goat, and the two bonded. Bunter became a whole new cow, was running around, kicking and jumping, and just the difference was incredible. However, one day recently, Peaches the goat was kidnapped or stolen, or kidnapped is a funny goatism actually, because goat babies are called kids. Hey, meh. But I digress. Peaches the goat was stolen, unfortunately, and Bunter the cow reverted back to their old depressed sort of behaviors, really sad, not eating. The police took this case very, very seriously, but fortunately they found Peaches the goat on a nearby property and was reunited again with Bunter, and Bunter the cow is as happy as can be, as is Peaches the goat. They've taken extra security measures now to make sure that Peaches can't get out and other people can't get in. I love this story. Hello, a therapy goat. I've never heard of a therapy goat before. I know sometimes with like wild cats, they'll have golden labs or golden retrievers or some kind of dog as a companion until the cat gets to a certain age where it's like, oh, I would eat the dog. So I've heard of that before, but a goat? A companion goat? What a wonderful idea. And poor Bunter the cow has experienced some loss in their life. And I'm really glad that the owners took the initiative to be like, wow, we definitely have a depressed cow. What can we do about it to make Bunter happier? And in comes Peaches the goat. Just every part of this story is love and hugs and I just love it so much. Oh, yeah, to the point like Bunter was so depressed without their cow friend that they weren't eating. Depression is real. Depression is so real, whether you're a cow or a human being. Depression is so real. Therapy animals for humans are a thing. My cats are therapy animals in a big way, and I know that having some kind of pet can help people a lot. And apparently, if you are a cow, hopefully your owners, to all my cows in the audience here, I hope that your owners will consider pairing you up with a goat friend like Peaches, because it can make a really, really big difference. I've never thought about cows and goats being friends before, because I grew up in like a farm town. I had friends that had cows and I had friends that had goats, but I didn't have friends that had cows and goats. So this just sounds wonderful. Goats are just jumpy and happy and all the wonderful things. Yes, I love it. So congratulations, Peaches the goat and Bunter the cow, for being reunited. I hope you live happily, jump around freely for the rest of your days. You wonderful, wonderful creatures, you. I am very thankful for your humans that they care so much about each of you. And A+ for the New Zealand police being like, yes, stolen therapy goat. Very serious business. We're going to look into it and treat it with respect, because heck yeah. Go New Zealand. You go, Glen Coco. 4 for you. Ugh, I just love it. I love it. I love it so much. Also, Peaches is the best name for a goat I've ever heard in my life. All right, my friends, that is it for our podcast today. I hope that you enjoyed yourself. It feels really, really good to be doing the podcast for you. Again, do you have any self-care experiments that you are working on or that you would like me to work on for February? Please let me know. You can get a hold of me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, all the things. We are wonderful. I wish you nothing but hugs and tea and cozy vibes, and thank you for being here. It really, really means a lot. And last and most important of all, I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will see you next tea party. This podcast is lovingly produced, directed, written, and created by yours truly, Miss Mary Lou Ryan. Our music was composed and performed by Jacob Kahn. Our logo designed by Hilda Meyer-Post. And if you'd like to spread a little positivity into the universe, I would love wherever you are tea partying with us to spread the words with those who could use a little cheer in their cuppa. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you next week.